Hey Francisco, we're back here at Sports Goofs 123. I'm going to get Andrew and Charles back on. I have reconnected to the stream. That is my fault. I knew what this error was and I knew I should have avoided it, but I forgot to put the little sticky note to not do it. So that is my fault for not looking at that and reminding myself not to do the thing that happens when I do a certain thing on this computer. I think it might be my program that hasn't completely updated to Windows 11, so that is on me. I'll get the guys back on real quick. We'll go back to where from our non-sponsors. We'll keep it going.
I'm like semi-tired.
All right,
Like
I'm back, guys. I've already restarted the stream. We're back on here. I think I was able to connect it back to the original one, so I think I popped back in fast enough to do it, so it shouldn't be. I mean, maybe on YouTube it's split up, but everything else we should be on the same thing. Anyways, so yeah, we're back. We're back again. All right, that was quick. That was very seamless. I'm glad my computer's fast enough to do this. But anyways, yeah, Bill Burr was my non-sponsor, and I just like him. I like his comedy. I like what he does, and he's doing a bunch of work. And I got to figure out what he's doing on One Punch Man. Okay, so there you go.
EU says according to Wiki, no.
He's not on One Punch Man. I don't know. No, maybe he did a bit or something. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's some comedians where, we trashed him a bit ago. Was it Jim Belushi?
Yeah.
He's actually a huge anime fan.
So I don't care.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he's got some taste, you know?
Man, his form of anime is probably like Dragon Ball Z.
No. He legitimately asks fans for good ones to recommend to him. So
damn it! Don't make me like Jim Belushi.
he legitimately likes anime, and he's always looking for some good ones out there. So there you go, Charles. Come on, man.
And then
look, Bill Belichick loves his dog. You know, there's things about people that.
What is this world coming to? Remember when I could just respectfully hate people by the show, by who they are as people, instead of the shows they watch?
Yeah, before social media, you could just hate somebody just for like whatever you could see of them on TV and stuff like that. But now it's like, oh, they welcome you into their lives. It's like, oh my God, he likes the same damn things as me. He's just like me. You know, it just has this persona that goes about that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Bill Burr. That's what's a good promo code, man? Promo code. Boston. I'm gonna just go Boston. There you go.
BAWW.
Yeah, Boston. I'm sure BU is rating me on my Boston accent right now. All right. Okay, who's going next?
I could go.
Yeah.
So y'all already know what it is, but it took like 2.5 weeks to get there. But it is gaming season, kids.
Oh,
it is
boy.
gaming season. So it's kind of like a twofer. I'm going to give 2 shout-outs in one. One, I'm going to give a shout-out to just the death of the holidays, which is Black Friday, because Charles has spent way too much money the last span of days, and Francisco has hated me because I am incessant about
it's
everything.
It's not just that. It's just, like, you specifically know I want to so badly.
Well, I don't care. You if you're that person who says I'm gonna diet, I'm gonna eat a tub of ice cream in front of you. Because every time of this year, when it's Black Friday time, Charles be buying his games. And Charles bought 5 damn video games in the span of 2 days, all for like a total of $98. New games too. PlayStation 5 games. A Nintendo Switch game that was on $27. All those would be oodles and oodles. So there's a small little promo to Black Friday and the death of holidays and just love of commercialism, so I could just play video games on the cheap. Because what's the one thing we know about Charles? Charles won't pay full price for anything. This is why Charles probably doesn't have an Xbox, because if you thought you were better with Game Pass, imagine me. I'm like, I'll just wait till it comes on Game Pass and pay $10 a month. I wouldn't even pay $10. So I just want to give a shout out that to the death of commercialism, or the rise of commercialism still around in Black Friday. But however, Charles recently beat a game. He had been hinting towards it. And I like games that can sometimes be chill. I like games that sometimes make my mind think. That's why I like some puzzle games from the old Nintendo days when we were young. And I like games that can kind of take a little bit of everything in the concept and make it a unique spin. And with Deathloop, Charles was very, very happy. He even teasing. He told you guys, hey, I'm not going to go for a dumb, but I spent 20 hours playing Arcade Lions PlayStation exclusive, where you are on a repeating island of a 24-hour day span to kill 8 visionaries. And it's made by the people who made Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2, and Prey. I hated Prey. I love Dishonored 1. I love Dishonored 2. It had been told as being Game of the Year. I remember being in one of my other group chats like, how is this going to be like a 10 out of 10 Game of the Year, depending who they made it from? And those Dishonored series were a strong 8, but Prey was just so trash, man. I couldn't get behind it. But the idea, the concept is you have the same repeating loop 24 hours a day. The game is split up into 4 sections: morning, noon, afternoon, evening. And you have to figure out the puzzle of it, of how to get all 8 killed in the entire day. So you go through, you find the story, you figure out their patterns, you kind of mimic, their styles, you figure out what's the best appropriation, you use some weapons, you use some magical powers called the slabs, and boy, was it a good time. It's a very small map, of course. It's just, morning, noon, afternoon, evening. However, you can revisit it at different times and see different changes. You can find out new information that comes into it. And if you like to be a dick and you like playing Dark Soul games, you can even invade other people's games as Juliana and then kill Colt. So Colt's main thing is that he can die multiple times and come back. But then if you kill the other visionaries, you can get their powers. You can get Havoc, you can get Ether, you can get other thing that I don't recall. Nexus, that was the other one. You can get the one that makes Ether is the one that makes you invisible. There was another one that was very useful for me that I utilized a lot. Of course, it escapes me now because I'm put on pressure because I'm just a shy person when it comes to this. But what I liked so much about it was instead of making me think of being intricate, and you get a lot of roguelike games where like it's a loop and you have to die to figure out the story. Actually, that's why I bought Returnal 4 for $8. But I like the idea that you can kind of like kill the visionaries multiple times too, because you have to beat the game, to break the loop, you have to do it within the whole 24-hour day span. So there's like one guy who has teleportation, which is shift, and I killed him like 5 times just because I could upgrade his slab upon killing him multiple times. And what I liked most about it is, even though I like Dishonored, even though I hated Prey, my problem with all of them is that they had a morality thing, and I like to play my characters as essentially good guys. I'm lame. What can I tell you? I'm an inherently good person. I don't like to go destroy things like GTA. I was the guy who did GTA missions as opposed to trying to get 5 stars and beat up on people with baseball bats. Everything else was, inconsequential. However, that would affect their endings if you did bad things. Here in Deathloop, that's not the case. Just go mess some people up because you're all bad guys and you're just trying to break the loop. And I finished it. I liked the ending. Some people were kind of frustrated with it. I thought it did what I needed to do for the ending because of the interesting lore. And I don't know if they make a series out of this in full because of the qualifications, but I did like it. 20 hours devoted. I try to play a little bit as Juliana and be a dick and invade other people's games because I wanted to get a trophy. But I would even kind of maybe replay it, but I don't necessarily have to because if I know the pattern, I could just try to go again on the pattern. But it was interesting enough. I gave it 9.5, and I think it was just the rush of everything. When the emotions simmer down, maybe it's a 9, but it's strong. It's definitely in contention for my game of the year. I think I probably have time for 1 or 2 more games to beat to complete that list. Charles is going on vacation from the 10th to 20th. I think it'll be a staycation, and I did buy 5 games, maybe 6, considering if Charles picks up Madden for like $10 like because he's got the goals. But right now it's in contention with Shadow Colossus remake for Game of the Year and Miles Morales. But big time enjoyment, and it was on the PS5, so it was one of those fully formed games. Because here's the thing about these new consoles, fellas, that you got to remember. A lot of these developers, what they were given, if it came out in the first year or maybe this is the first complete year, they're still probably running on the near like perfunctory performance of the console. We don't know what we're going to get in full blast. So I'm interested to see what they can do from there. So Charles likes Deathloop. Very fun, very big, very enjoyable. Might be my game of the year. Arcane, you did good. Now you're purchased with Xbox, so you're only going to make Xbox games now, so that's going to go to Francisco's. But y'all should do it. Promo code. What can I think of? Black Reef.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds. I like that. I like kind of like how you said the mechanics. Like, kind of reminds me of Majora's Mask, where you kind of do the same thing over and over again.
Yep. And it has a very kind of cool vibe and aesthetic to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the art style. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Yeah, and it's I think it's on PC as well, but just PS5 and PSE right now. So there you go. I think it comes out to Xbox next year.
It is PC. It's just kind of buggy.
Yeah, well, they'll clean that up. So, all right, Deathloop. Andrew, you ready?
Yes, sir. Um, oh yeah. Uh, so I'm going with UCF again, but there's actually a reason for it. It's a little bit different this time.
All right.
So last week, out of the middle of nowhere, no one was expecting this. UCF up and unveils a new secondary logo. It's an updated version of the Nighthead, as we call it. We had used this old Nighthead logo since 2007 when we completely rebranded the athletic department from Golden Knights to Knights. That's when we introduced the stacked UCF, the stacked letters UCF logo, the Batter Up logo, which has since been retired. It was a whole new set of logos. Last week, it's technically a new logo, but it's basically a re-envisioning of that original Nighthead logo. So that in of itself is cool. But then just yesterday, out of the middle of nowhere, UCF has been using white helmets all season supposedly because of supply chain issues. Apparently a helmet manufacturer, supplier, whatever, caught fire. The building did, so it was destroyed, and I don't know the full story there. But either way, in any case, UCF has had wearing white helmets all season as opposed to the usual mix of black, white, gold, pewter, and anthracite. And we were sort of we were hoping that they would have a black helmet for this game this Friday, because it's our rivalry game against South Florida on Black Friday, which has been the day that the game has been held every year since we joined the same conference back in 2013. And then, sure enough, they have black helmets. And more than that, this year's black helmet this version of it is going to have the new Nighthead logo on it. So everyone is very excited. And I also want to take this opportunity to happy USF Hate Week, everybody.
Yeah, I already hated on the Gators, even though I'm a Bearcats fan, as we all know.
Ooh.
As we all know.
Well, I'll get to that in a second during our college football
Mm-hmm.
discussion. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a little bit of a quick one, but shout out to UCF and the graphic design department for a great new logo and a great uniform to end the regular season. Promo code Nighthead 2.0.
Yeah, and I find it's a good looking logo. I like it very much. I'm glad that they went basically just turning them on the side, just making them face forward. So it makes sense to do it that way. So
Right.
so you have one from kind of sort of side. Maybe you can do a profile version at some point. That could work out too in the future. So you got different ways to play with the head. So all right. Okay, so Andrew, this popped up, and I just kind of want to do this with you because we haven't really talked about logos and things like that. You and I are both like, jerseys and logo files, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're super into it. I didn't even know the New Jersey Devils came out with the third jersey, and it looks horrible.
And it not only is it horrible, it's very literal.
Oh wow! I didn't put it together. It just says jersey. It's like a generic uniform, right?
And actually, to
Might as well
that
just say
point,
sports on it or hockey.
right. To that point, a really funny group called Bring Back Hockey,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a parody site, sort of very relaxed and groovy, funny. They released a shirt today that's a t-shirt in that same design that just says shirt. And then someone is also thinking of making a hat that says "hat."
Yeah. Like, hold on, let me see. What's the reasoning for historic New Jersey hockey teams, including the 1928 New York Bulldogs, also skated while wearing sweaters with white stripes all over the shoulders and sleeves. Okay. As always, these days, the uniform is full of manufactured meaning. Instead of simply rolling out with an appropriate, we wanted to replicate the sweater worn by New Jersey hockey teams in the past. They're explaining away just about every stitch of this thing, providing answers to questions nobody would have otherwise asked. Yeah, the 21 counties. I don't know what did they put in their names on the bottom hem there. For the 21 counties that make up the New Jersey, 5 stripes on the left. Oh, they literally put 21 stripes on this jersey to okay. They make up every jersey, and even though people in New Jersey, a lot of them are Rangers or even Islanders fans, or if they're like South Jersey or whatever, they might be Flyers fans, because like was it Mike Trout's from that area, definitely Philly fan. So you got they fucking trotted out Martin Brodeur for this. Okay, with the 3 Stanley Cup championships there. Okay, sure. He has not aged well since retirement.
Someone actually on Twitter asked if because apparently he had a hand in this.
Oh boy!
They asked if someone's number can be unretired.
Wait. Huh?
So Brodeur apparently had a hand in coming up with this design.
Oh, and they wanted to unretire his number
because they hate it so much.
Oh gosh. I mean, this is just, it's not good. And it's just another line of bad third jerseys that are out there. I mean, I honestly don't know why the Devils changed their regular uniforms to away from their classic, the stuff that they've worn since the early 90s. Sorry, that's when they switched to red and black instead of red and green.
Let me just say, I am not happy with what they did, because the way that the old jersey looked, it had this nice balance to it. But no, they had to go.
They made it, even then. It was like they made changes that were so like inconsequential. It's like, oh, we'll just get rid of the bottom stripe. We'll move this around a bit. It's like, what's the difference? Well, I know the difference, but like, what's the point of doing that? Like, if you're not gonna go big, then don't go at all. And honestly, they don't have to. The Devils had a classic look. I don't understand what's the point. You won 3 Stanley Cup championships. You've been contending, that type of stuff, right? Like, it works. And the Devils aren't an ancient team in regards to NHL history. Really, that's why they went back to like 1927, whatever, for their roots in hockey. Because I think they came over in like 1980 or something like that when they moved from Colorado.
Was it KC then Colorado?
They were the Kansas City Scouts, and they moved to Colorado to become the Rockies, and then they moved to freaking Jersey. So there you go. And everybody just wanted a simple black uniform, which would have made sense, right? They're the Devils.
Honestly, if they did a reverse of their current uniforms, so the black is red, the red is black, and the
honestly,
black is red, that would have looked really cool.
They're probably just going to do what the New York Islanders is, just go back to their old stuff and just be like, all right, that's it. Okay, good. Right? And then just have their retro uniforms, the red, white, and green that they wear, I think, for like Christmas or whatever. And just have that. And then have a black jersey. There you go. We're done. Maybe you could make a secondary actual Devil logo as well. You could play around with that for a third jersey, but that's it, So I didn't notice that. And yeah, the Royals also got new uniforms, but not home uniforms, but just like road uniforms that kind of look a little bit like their stuff from, like they said, from the 70s and stuff, back when early days of the franchise and George Brett. So it's not much of a change. They kind of just are changing it from the old, because they had Royals basically in the cursive, along with accompanying Kansas City version of that, and now it's just block lettering with the Kansas City, which kind of reminds you of George Brett, that type of era too. So there you go. So that's the Royals. They got a powder blue uniform, which is always great. But people complain that they don't have the powder blue pants, which is true. If they're gonna go with that old school style, they need to go all the way. But yeah, there's the Royals, and yeah, that's what they're doing right now. So, and I think that's it. There's some minor league stuff, some soccer stuff, which I don't care about, and I will not comment on. So we shall move on, guys. We shall move on. When do we want to do our Thanksgiving discussion? Should we save it for later, afterwards?
I say near the end.
Near the end?
For the end.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
we don't even need a cage. We could do the cage.
And we talk about this every year, but it's our opinions are pretty much the same, but we just love talking about it. So there we go. So all right. So Andrew, you are back from from college football. Rubbing shoulders with the college football media elite, and my beloved Cincinnati Bearcats are finally being recognized. What's going down? What's going on?
Well, some history has been made. I mean, Reese Davis pointed this out earlier in the show, but every year or every week this year, the Cincinnati Bearcats have made history for a what is it called? Autonomous Five. People call it the Group of Five or the Power Five, whatever. But the official terminology is the Autonomous Five and the Non-Autonomous Five. So Cincy has made history every week because they have been the highest ranked non-A5 school in college football playoff history. The previous record went to my beloved UCF Knights. They were ranked 7th in 2018, if I remember correctly. Cincinnati started the season at 6. They worked their way to 5. And then the team directly ahead of them was Oregon, and they got the shit kicked out of them by Utah this past week. I think it was 38-7. So they got absolutely decimated. So a lot of people were wary about what the committee would do, because the committee has shown time and time again that they really do not, despite what they say, they do not respect non-A5 schools. But I think they got their hand was forced, and they put Cincinnati into 4, which is the first time that a non-A5 has made it into the top 4. So, what is ahead for Cincinnati? They face UConn. No. They face, who is their last team? Crap. Well, anyway, I'll get to them in a second. So, Georgia stays number 1. Everyone was expecting that. Georgia is just in a whole other playing field this year. It's not even fair. They had a close game. Their first game of the year, which was against Clemson, back when Clemson was a highly ranked team. Georgia won that one 10-3, and they haven't looked back since. It just seemed to be getting stronger every week. It's insanity. Their game this week against Georgia Tech in clean old-fashioned hate, their rivalry game, they're expected to win that one handily, which they're already guaranteed a spot into the SEC championship game alongside Alabama, who is ranked 3 in the top 4. So, assuming that Alabama wins their finale against Auburn, which is quite probable, and Georgia wins against Georgia Tech, those two are going in there. Basically, if Alabama loses in the SEC championship game, I can't see a reason for them to be in the top 4. They'd have 2 losses. I can't recall a two-loss team making it into the playoff before. And yes, I know they're going up against a juggernaut in Georgia, but I don't see them getting in. So things look pretty settled right now. Let me say this: if Georgia somehow loses, as long as Georgia doesn't lose to Georgia Tech, they're making it into the playoff. Because even if they lose to Alabama, they've been so dominant this year, and they're losing to the number 3 team that they'll fall maybe to third or fourth.
And there's been precedent from those two teams facing off against each other to make the playoffs anyway.
Right. But if Alabama loses, Alabama has to go undefeated the rest of the way in order to get into the playoff. They have to beat Auburn and they have to beat Georgia. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. Cincinnati obviously has to go undefeated, but even then there's no guarantee because, again, everyone is extremely wary of what the committee is going to do. Sitting right behind Cincinnati right now, if I remember correctly, is Notre Dame. That's the team that
it's Michigan actually right now.
Oh, it is Michigan? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I have it up here on the screen here, so we do have Michigan.
Michigan is going to get decimated by ECU. Thank you, BU. I'm looking at the Twitch screen now. So yeah, Cincinnati is playing East Carolina. ECU. I want to say that they'll win, and they probably will. But the past few weeks, with the exception of this past week against SMU, they've kind of been hit and miss. They've still won, but they haven't played up to high level of play against South Florida, Tulane, Navy, you name it. These are not exactly, although you can sort of forgive Navy because they run the triple option, and that's just a pain in the ass to deal with. Everyone hates the triple option. And really the only teams that run it these days are the service academies, Air Force to some extent, but certainly Navy and Army. I'll do a learn a goof someday about what the triple option is, but in any event, Cincinnati, they have to win out. They play ECU, thanks to you telling me, and then in the conference championship, they're playing against Houston. Now, if Cincinnati wins this week, they get home field advantage. This is not like the SEC championship or the ACC championship. The conference championship in the American Athletic Conference is held at the home stadium of the higher ranking team in conference with a better conference record. That's one tie. They have a few tiebreakers, but in short, if Cincinnati wins against ECU, they're going to host the conference championship game. I like I said, I want to say that if they go undefeated going into the final rankings, that they will be in the playoff, but I don't know. The team behind them, like you mentioned, is Michigan. Michigan plays Ohio State this Saturday in the game.
They're going to lose that.
If let me say this again, any given Saturday, Alabama lost to Texas A&M, Florida almost lost to Samford. I mean, you never know. But in all likelihood, Michigan is going to get their asses handed to them by Ohio State. Because Ohio State beat Michigan State, I think 52-7 or something this past weekend. And Michigan State beat Michigan.
And we all know Jim Harbaugh never wins big games. So.
Right. So by transitive property, Michigan is going to get manhandled by Ohio State. Again, you never know. But Michigan's only chance of staying in this thing is if they beat Ohio State. The winner of this game, if I remember correctly, is going to the conference championship game against, I think the front runner is Wisconsin. Yes. So Wisconsin will be coming out of the West, assuming that they win this weekend, and then whoever wins the game is going to come out of the East Division. Ohio State has very little room to work with because, again, they have the one loss, and it's to Oregon, who got the shit kicked out of them by Utah this past weekend. So their strength of schedule just took a deep dive because Oregon beat them at Ohio State, which especially Ohio State has 100,000 people, and it's at Ohio Stadium. It's an extremely tough place to play, and Oregon still went in there and beat them, and then they got their asses handed to them by Utah. So really, Ohio State has a little more wiggle room to work with than Michigan because they are in the top four right now, but especially they're in the second place right now. But again, both them and Michigan are going to have to win out. So now going back so let's assume Michigan loses. The next team in line is Notre Dame. They're playing against Stanford, who has had a really bad season this year. A lot of people Notre Dame is expected to win there. So here's the problem. Let's assume the rankings stay the same. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone wins except Michigan because they're going to lose. So you've got Notre Dame now at 5, nipping at the heels of Cincinnati. Here's the problem. Earlier in the season, Michigan ranked ahead of Michigan State despite a head-to-head win. So a lot of people are thinking that there's some 4D chess going on here with the committee where they set the precedent already that a head-to-head win isn't the end-all be-all. Now, Cincinnati beat Notre Dame earlier this season at Notre Dame, and it was not a particularly close game either. So logic would dictate Cincinnati should stay ahead of Notre Dame because they have that head-to-head, and both have been extremely dominant since then. But you never know. That would be if Cincinnati, that would be the ultimate fuck you to Cincinnati and all of the non-A5 schools to put them in the top 4. And then at the last second,
just yank it out from under them.
Exactly. That would be the ultimate FU. And the problem is,
sounds like Vince McMahon.
The problem is the committee has already set the precedent. They set it thanks to Michigan and Michigan State. So it's not like they can just say it's not like it came out of nowhere. They can look back to, well, you see, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's gone. Yeah.
And then since Cincinnati had this, I tell you, listen, hear me now. If this happens where Cincinnati is dropped below Notre Dame, this is going to be the justification. Cincinnati had a few weak games against lesser competition. Notre Dame has been solid this whole season, just getting better. We have in the past said that head-to-head isn't necessarily the end-all be-all of rankings. So Cincinnati appears to be getting worse as the season's going on, but Notre Dame is getting better. Therefore, we think that Notre Dame deserves the playoff spot.
And then they'll just lose in the finals to get
back
like number 25 or whatever.
No, they would lose in the semifinal. They're going to get no higher than 4th, barring some massive shakeup in the top 4, and that would put them. Again, let's assume here that Georgia wins out, so they win their regular season finale against Georgia Tech. Then they beat Alabama. Then Ohio State beats Michigan. So then Cincinnati would jump to 3, and then Notre Dame would jump to 4. So if everything else plays out like it should, Notre Dame's going to get no higher than 4th, which puts them up against Georgia, and they are going to get slaughtered. What I find fascinating, though, is let's say Cincinnati ends up remaining in 4th. Who knows? Maybe there is the jump where Notre Dame instead goes to 3 and then Cincinnati is into 4. Who knows? But which is certainly a possibility because it's a mix of that jump I was talking about. But Alabama probably losing the conference championship game against Georgia would drop them out. So that's also a possibility. But let's say Cincinnati is in 4th place. Who would they be playing in the semifinal? They would be playing Georgia. Who did Cincinnati play last year in the Peach Bowl? Georgia. Almost beat them. If it wasn't for Luke Fickell making a boneheaded time management decision, they would have won that game. And if they had won that game, they would have been in the top 4. Probably, if this season played out like it did with the addition of the win last year in the Peach Bowl, they're probably already in the top 4 for a couple of weeks now. So it'll be interesting. I mean, that'll be interesting because if Cincinnati can play Georgia like it did last year, and again, different teams. Georgia's completely different this year. Cincinnati is also very different. That'll be interesting. But we'll see. Unfortunately, UTSA, the other undefeated team aside from Georgia and Cincinnati, eked it out at the end against UAB. Meep. 34-31. It was a last-second win, I'll tell you.
I wasn't expecting the Roadrunner.
That's their.
I know it's their team mascot. I didn't expect you to actually do the meep.
Well, that's their rallying cry now. Is meep. That's their hashtag now. Is meep.
So I just need them. I need somebody who's a dog. In any way, their mascots just go ruh-roh when they're like sucking and losing.
Is there coyotes in college football? Is there?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I think South Dakota is they don't go by coyotes, they go by coyotes.
Okay.
Which is like the coolest way to say coyotes.
I don't associate South Dakota with coyotes, but yeah, okay.
Hold on, let me see. Yep, I was right. South Dakota Coyotes. I remember the weirdest shit. But anyway, so that would be a great regular season game. Coyotes versus Roadrunners. That would be fantastic.
They could have the Looney Tunes Bowl.
Right. Oh, get this. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the 90s, there used to be a Cartoon Network ran this alongside the Super Bowl. They had a Looney Tunes Bowl, basically.
I remember that.
I don't remember. I don't recall this, to be honest.
Thank you for making me feel old as shit.
If this is like way back when, I don't because I don't think we even had a Cartoon Network in my cable package a long time. I was just strictly Nickelodeon for a long time. I didn't have Cartoon Network until like the 2000s. But yeah, and then
Did your parents not like you seeing the seductive ways of?
I don't know. It was whatever the cable
Johnny
package.
Bravo.
I don't know. It wasn't there. No, I caught up on Johnny Bravo as soon as I found out who he was. I was like, oh, this man. I love this man.
So
looking at Dexter's Lab's side story character, the one with the
caught
monkey,
up with that.
and
Powerpuff
how she was
Girls.
in that latex.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Looking back at it, I'm 29 now. Looking back at it, cartoons back then were so raunchy, and it just totally went over our heads, and that is fantastic. There's the
don't go watching Rocko's Modern Life.
Ren and
like
Stimpy.
Oh yeah, no, Ren and Stimpy was more outward about it, but damn, but Rocko's Modern Life was like oof.
Like Miss Bellum
Those guys
from
were horny.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The mayor was in love with her for sure.
Yeah, man, they don't make cartoons like they used to anymore.
Do you remember him from Powerpuff Girls? In today's modern age, 25 years ago, we had a lobster devil villain with knee-high socks. fishnets.
That's true.
Everybody's freaking about it now. Oh, what's going to happen to the children? Whereas we had basically, the transgender devil out there, but you know, people these days like to hate on everything. They don't let me love my lobster claw.
I love it. I love it. But anyway, back to my main point. So yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot to play for. I know that there's still the final week. Then you got conference championships. It's going to be very interesting. This has been a season filled with upsets. Not as much as 2007. It for a little bit looked like it might be going that way, but it's kind of settled down since then. But this has been a very crazy, crazy year. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, there's at least a little bit of hope, right? A little bit of hope with Cincinnati. So that's what I'm gonna like. If they make the playoff, Andrew, if they make the playoff, I'm gonna buy a damn hat. I'm gonna buy a damn Bearcats hat. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, put it out there on the line.
Okay? That's your big, die on the mountain kind of thing.
Yeah, no, and not one of the cheap like dad hats. No, I'm gonna get one of like legit like. The flat brim and whatever. I don't know if I'll get a snapback or fitted. That'll be my decision when that time comes, if it does come. So yeah. If they do make it into the playoff, I'm gonna buy a Cincinnati Bearcats hat. Okay.
There you go. Did I throw that shade out to the Aaron Rodgers? I said if he won a Super Bowl, I'll buy a jersey or something.
Yeah.
Or was that a different shade?
That might have been something else, I think. But
because I know we were throwing some steam.
I think it was last year. Like the NFC Championship.
It was last
episode.
Like that.
Oh, it was last episode? Okay. Yeah.
Because I remember we made the Boone equivalent.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Well, I want to just briefly touch on something else related to college football. So, Miami,
still
against
sucks,
all odds, is bowl eligible.
Manny forever, baby.
Would be in the Dollar Tree Bowl.
I mean, did you guys see that a lot of the old school guys, the alums, had like a little Zoom meeting together about the
Jonathan Phillips just sitting in the corner. We gotta kill this man. We're gonna go 7-5.
I think it was like Ed Reed that decided to hold it or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, that happened.
Miami is bowl eligible. Considering how they started the season, I don't think anyone was going to expect that. I think Manny Diaz just saved his job.
Don't say that. Charleston Rambo saved his job. And Dyke saved his job. Charleston Rambo.
So now, going back, so Miami, they wrap up the season against...
It's Virginia, I believe. Or not,
Virginia?
Duke,
okay.
Duke.
Duke, yep. They're going up to Wallace Way. How is Duke doing?
They're trash. They're like 3-9 or 3-8.
Oh, it's a perfect game for you guys to lose.
Exactly. Which I need them to lose.
That's a perfect trap game. Going up to Duke. Yeah.
Yep, 3-8. So UCF, of course, bowl eligible. They won this past week in convincing fashion against UConn in the civil conflict.
Yeah, you guys trudged out not the real trophy, a replica of the trophy.
Right. Which is sort of disappointing because I really would like to know where
I don't know.
the original trophy
Somebody
is.
probably tossed it into a broom closet and forgot it and it probably got destroyed.
But I think that it's lost to the sands of time.
That or some booster has it and didn't really like give it up or anything, Esau B's
anyway,
there.
Let me see.
Bob Diaco's closet.
Bob Diaco's closet. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, so UCF plays South Florida in the war on I-4. I'm pretty sure Diaco's claimed he, in fact, actually does have it. Diaco, if you're somehow listening to this, give us the trophy, please. Please, we beg you. We want the trophy. We want the precious. So that's UCF. They have a chance of going 8-4 on the regular season, which would make them the winningest program in the state for this season. Because Miami's best regular season record is 7-5. I had to do some math there for a second. The other big four are Florida and Florida State.
Trash.
This, boys, this, my friends, is the most important Sunshine Showdown for both teams in quite some time.
It's pretty pathetic it's gotten this far down for both of them, but I'm ready to slather myself up Saturday if this actually happens.
Let me explain why, gentlemen. Both teams are 5-6. Winner goes to a bowl game. Loser stays home for the winter. And all they have to look forward to are final exams. No bowl swag, no nothing.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
This is the first time in a while where one game will so dramatically affect the outcome of both teams.
Dear God, these two teams were playing this game to go to try and win a national championship, like back in 1996 or something like that, and now it's come to this.
And what I mean for both teams, I want to clarify. You know, in 2013, FSU played the game with the national championship on the line. They lose, they drop out of the one spot, they don't go to the Natty. Florida, same deal. You know, back in 2007, 2008, their last regular season game was against Florida State. And there have been some middling years where, one loss here and there. I mean, FSU has lost the final game to go under 500. That was their way. Beating Florida was their way to get into bowl eligibility, but they lost. But Florida was already solidly in bowl eligibility, even if they weren't, going to a New Year's Six bowl or anything. Here, it's truly a case of loser go home. It's going to be extremely exciting. And believe it or not, I have not watched a Florida State game in quite some time. I will be watching that one because there's a lot on the line there. Of course, Florida is favored because they almost beat Alabama at one point. Florida State hasn't really had a lot of big wins this year or close losses against good teams. So we will see. That'll be very exciting. Meanwhile, Dan Mullen, head coach of Florida, he gone. He's out.
Yummy.
And it's not a situation like Butch Davis where he was allowed to, where he coaches the final games of the year after he was told that he wouldn't be coming back. No. Dan Mullen was offered the opportunity to come back to coach the final game, but he said, no, thank you, sir. So he's gone.
Who the hell wants to spend 3 more weeks in Gainesville?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Well,
you only go there to go to the University of Florida. That's it. After that, you get out of that shithole.
Or score some fine meth.
Yeah. There you go.
So it'll be very interesting. A lot of speculation of who might take over head coaching gig there. There's a ton of other positions already open. You never know. So very exciting final weekend. This is rivalry weekend, boys. This is all the big games. Bedlam, Oklahoma State. Very, very. It's been a while since Bedlam has been such an important game for both programs because
And there it is on the screen there. One is number 7, one is number 10. You know?
If Oklahoma State's and the Big 12 conference for that matter, they are the one remaining hope for that conference to get into the playoff. And it's the chances are still not that good. Because let's see, Michigan loses, that'll push them up one spot to 6. And then you've got Notre Dame ahead of them. The odds are not good, but they are the last chance. Oklahoma, barring some incredible thing, is not going to get into the playoff. So a lot of, like I said, very interesting, very exciting rivalry weekend, and we're going to see how this thing shakes out in just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's our run through of college football. Very thorough, Andrew. Very thorough on this one. All right,
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to go into Thanksgiving discussion? Do we want to end with a cage? I'm not sure.
I will give you a very brief cage.
All right, we'll do that.
Thanksgiving
We'll do that then. We'll head on over to the cage, and then we'll get into Thanksgiving talk, and of course we'll do our thankfulness that we always do every year when we get around this time. Okay, Charles, let's get into it.
All right, welcome everybody to your weekly True Facts, The Cage with Charles. A very quick, very abridged version. As you know, wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It's a stage fight. It is a song and dance. It is poetry and motion about men and women trying to beat the holy hell out of each other, establish their legacies, win some championships, steal Vince McMahon's golden egg from Red Notice because Netflix paid him a ton of cash to put in there because he's a money mark, and all those other fun things. Now, we said it was going to be abridged. Why is it going to be abridged? Not a lot happening. So we're going to do this right. AEW, wait and see. We're just coming back from the Full Gear pay-per-view. We know that certain things are coming to fruition. We're building up the storylines. We might be getting MJF versus CM Punk. Sign me the F up. But I also kind of want Eddie Kingston and him to continue. That's my AEW comments right then and there. Kenny Omega is going to go on some surgery, vacation-wise, heal up, go from there. Matches be happening, but nothing to kind of go for. Tune in at the final episode and we'll kind of order the final season finale episode. We'll stage as that for more insight. Impact, nothing going on. Ring of Honor, I feel bad. They're taping the final episodes because, as you know, and Andrew, I don't know if you were there with us, Ring of Honor is closing down shop for a bit. So anybody who has a current contract that runs at the end of the year are getting fired, and they're not going to get the money. So there's a lot of people who are basically saying, hey, it's like walking in Deb's Head in Stelton Castle, Matt Taven, longtime mainstays, and it just means nothing now. Jay Lethal's on AEW, so maybe some of the other guys and gals are gonna go elsewhere. They could also go to WWE because they fired everybody. Yeah, we talked about on the show that released this last week, right? And I was like, I hate this. I don't remember. It's been a long week, but yeah, just a reminder. WWE side, people be fired. Vince McMahon goes make money. Survivor Series was this weekend. I didn't watch it. Every year there's like 2 throwaway pay-per-views. And there was no real story coming into it. I heard Roman versus Big E was very good, as were the Survivor Series matches. But I have better things to do. Charles is watching Wheel of Time, which is not good. And I've listened to that audiobook the entire series, and the show is just not a good adaptation after 2 episodes. Charles is watching Cowboy Bebop. That's an interesting adaptation. Let me finish it, and I'll comment on it. Because Francisco and Andrew know how excited I was for that because Charles did his whole rerun of Cowboy Bebop. I think I non-sponsored them 2 weeks prior, maybe, if memory serves me right. If not, I'll just give a side love non-sponsor. NXT, they have War Games December 5th. That'll probably be where we end the cage on predictions, even though I have not really been following NXT religiously. I know what's happening, obviously, because it's me. But interesting thought processes that are coming into it. Vince, Survivor Series is such a throwaway, but I was right in my predictions, guys. Raw was the winning side. They went 5 of 7. And of course, Roman had represent SmackDown. They teased Rock as the 25th anniversary of him being on Survivor Series and coming into it for the years in WWE. And of course, nothing came to fruition of it, but they're going to tease Roman versus Rock for a while. It'll happen after Roman finally loses that belt to Drew McIntyre eventually because I can't have nice things in my life. Yeah. Watch wrestling. That's all I'm going to give you on a very abridged part of the cage because I'm about something bigger right now. About that turkey. We're going to be talking.
Charles, I have a quick question for you before we move on.
Yes.
Did you see that tackle?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can comment on that. Sorry. I forgot about it, and it was in my notes. So a fan went to tackle Seth Rollins and Raw yesterday, and this is like the second time that I've seen a fan come near Seth. And I don't know why. I've heard rumors, and we do not buy into rumors, good sir and gentlemen and ma'ams out there. But so some guy on Raw just goes and tackles Seth, and Seth put him like a guillotine hold to hold him back. And that guy is very lucky because Seth Rollins, the TV, when you do the camera far and away, does not make big people look big all the time, especially in wrestling when there's superior, bigger people. Seth's kind of a big dude. And he gonna wreck that. He was gonna choke that guy out. So it's a very scary situation. And then, you know what? Damn, I thought it was gonna be a bridge thing, but now I'm gonna talk about toxic masculinity culture. So we're doing this. And then Chavo Guerrero, the nephew of Eddie Guerrero. Chavo's kind of loved by me. I don't think he's the greatest thing of all time, but I can respect Chavo. So Chavo goes up and said, "Hey, remember when wrestlers used to be like men are tough and stuff like that, buddy?" There's no business for a fan to even come through that barricade to physically tackle a performer. Everybody was all upstage when the Revival beat the hell out of the guy who tried to go against poor old Bret Hart a couple years back. Seth, I think, was professional because for me, I wouldn't have been an Isaiah Stewart. I just would have beat the hell out of the guy personally.
I mean, I'm just looking at the size difference between this guy who's
mega. Like that guy's lucky that Seth went to the professional route.
Yeah. Like he could have killed him. He literally could have killed him.
Big man. But then also you have to think of what the fan could have done. Any shot. What if he?
I mean, it's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot. He's just coming in from an angle that he Seth just had only a second to react to it, and he actually did. Yeah. He actually did. You saw it. I mean, of course, he's a professional, right?
Hell no! I'm not gonna let no dude hit me.
And so, he actually, as you see here, I'm doing it on the screen here for the audio version. The guy's coming in from his from Seth's right side here, just from he's got a camera in his face, so he's playing to the camera at this moment. The camera guy's going, and then this guy just comes in from his right, just out of nowhere, and Seth kind of sees it. And he's got about maybe a second to react to it, and he does. He takes the impact, easily. And of course, this guy's probably throwing his entire weight onto him, of course. But of course, Seth Rollins has all the training in the world to handle that sort of an impact, of course.
But it's still a person who's come to come at
you.
And
you never know. He could have had something in his hand, right? A bottle or something like that.
The guy was obviously arrested for aggravated assault, and then another charge in New York, which I think they put as disrupting cultural something. It's weird. It's an actual charge, and I would go into it. And I like Seth too. Seth is actually part of my feud of the year. That's a spoiler for my end of the year stuff because I as you guys know, I'm accumulating things for the cage list for end of the year, beginning of the year stuff. But and
on TV they of course they showed it, but and then of course they were just turning it away from the camera. Okay, just cut away to something else,
But there's no business for it. And then you guys gotta remember, wrestling's kind of weird. About a year and a half ago, Sonya Deville had the stalker. If you guys remember that case, where he was literally found where she was, had zip ties, stuff like that. So I don't know what people's problems are. I'm not going to do the media spin and automatically say it's mental health, bad people, or anything like that. But I'm going to bring it back to Chavo Guerrero. Nah, bro. You don't want none of that smoke of some dude randomly come across you and hitting you or tackling you or doing anything like that. And also, let's be honest here. The problem, poor thing for Seth is in today's day and age, everybody sues everybody. So imagine if Seth just went harder on that than a normal person would, and then he just pops that guy's shoulder out. Then he's getting sued.
It's not self-defense if you use too much power.
Yeah, because you can see it. That's just how we are in today's legal system, and we're very litigious, right? Ramon, full the circle. Even in my own segments that I'm known for, that I can't escape that man. Son of a bitch. It's a very litigious word. There's so much of it. But Chavo Guerrero...
What city did this happen in? Where was this?
Brooklyn. So, of course.
Oh.
Of course.
Nets fans. Oh.
Yeah. He's like, what did he say about Kyrie Irving? Just hitting him. That's my own storyline drama that I'm believing. I'm believing that guy is sensitive because Kyrie Irving doesn't love football, or I'm sorry, basketball anymore, and he's just so angry. He brought out to Seth Rollins in an imaginary sense. Anywho, that's what happens. Javo, you're also got a goon, so I'm going to just do a twofold on that one. And that's really what I have for you on the cage this week.
Okay, guys, so we're into this discussion now. And so we always get around this time of year, right? It's Thanksgiving. We always give thanks to everybody that watches our show. Thank you for watching us. Thank you to all of the actual sponsors who somehow sponsor this show. You know, McDonald's only did that McRib spot with us once, and it was done afterwards.
We butchered it.
I
can't blame them.
It was the worst ad read we've ever
said,
done.
I'm not going to eat a McRib.
Yeah, that was bad. We were really awful on that one. So McDonald's ain't
it's bad when we won't sell out.
Yeah. No, it's true. We did give our actual feelings on it and everything. And look, it wasn't that bad. We just don't get this one item. You can get something else from McDonald's. It was cool, right? Well, like we were saying, anyways. So McDonald's ain't coming back, but everybody else, thank you for sponsorships and stuff like that. Money we make. The one patron that we do have, Awesome Jacket Dude, thank you for that. Of course, our loyal guys, BU, Freddie, of course, thankful to you guys as well. Thankful to everybody. Thankful to all. Man, we are in 44 countries that we've had our show listened to. So that's a thing.
Take over the world.
So that's a thing, right? That's not an easy feat, you know. And I talked about this before. People who make podcasts, they don't. Statistically, they don't get past 7 episodes. And look at us, we're at 123. So it's been good. It's been cool. So yeah, we're here, and I'm thankful for you guys for being here. So thanks to everyone. So that's my spiel there to get us into the real discussion, which is about the food, right? And we talk about this every year, and this is always a glorious occasion. And you know us, we know we love to talk about all the delicacies that we like to eat. But here we are. But of course, there is a sports angle to the start of this discussion, everybody, because Charles brought it to our light, and it was thanks to somebody on the New England Patriots.
Just a likable team.
Yeah.
Just a very likable team.
And now oh man. Isn't that, man, it just feels so weird to just kind of be like, that's a pretty good squad that they got over there. I don't really mind anybody on there yet. So, and they're in my division too. Well, actually, I'm not a Dolphins fan no more, right? That's right. I'm an Eagles fan, baby. Yeah. There we go. Anyways, Charles brought this to light. Found his spirit, not spirit animal, spirit player for a bit there. And it was Matthew, gosh darn it, was last name?
Judon.
There we go, Matthew Judon. So had a press conference. And a very intelligent reporter asking the real questions that we actually do want answered. Asked him what side dishes he likes to have on Thanksgiving, and the guy pivoted. Didn't talk about the stuff that he wanted. Well, he did talk about some of the stuff that he wanted, but he put some of the stuff that he didn't like. And this one's huge. This one's huge for a lot of people, right? And I'm gonna read this verbatim as to what he actually said. So here we go, guys. I don't know if I should put on a voice for this. Maybe I should put on a Boston accent. I don't know. I'm not even going to answer your question. I'm going to put my Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm going to do 1998 Sonic the Hedgehog. Here we go. I'm going to tell you, we got to get macaroni and cheese off the table. All right, guys, I'm getting on my soapbox. Oh, man, he's getting on his soapbox. Charles loves him already, right? All right, guys, I'm getting on my soapbox. It's just cheese and noodles. It's not that good. Let's be honest, guys. Everybody here is probably a little lactose intolerant, so it messes up our stomachs, and we have to get it off the table. It's probably one of the most overrated dishes, but my favorite is dressing. I do love dressing, but get macaroni and cheese off the table, and it will be much better Thanksgiving for everybody in the house. I have never liked macaroni and cheese. You know how they say, your taste buds change every 7 years. You just gotta, every time I try it, it's the same thing. It's never going to change. It's never going to get better. All right? I'm almost 30 now. I'm pretty set in my ways, and it's disgusting. Get it off my table. The bathrooms will be like the bathrooms will be less busy and everybody will have a better day. So if you want to have a good Thanksgiving, don't cook macaroni and cheese. My whole family loves it. My brothers and sisters. My mom cooks it in a big pan. They know not to put it on my plate or that's fighting words. All right? I'm going to have to fight everybody in the house one by one. And I will wait until they eat their macaroni and cheese, get sluggish, and then I'm going to whoop them.
I love them. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to support all. I'm going to support the flair. I'm going to support the thought. I'm going to support. And I like mac and cheese. I had mac and cheese for lunch today when I went to the barbecue shop. But I'm going to leave with this. To go with controversy, support my boy Matthew Judon. Mac and cheese has no purpose to be there for Thanksgiving. Part of Thanksgiving side dishes and main meals is stuff that you don't normally eat, in my opinion. Mac and cheese is an everyday commodity that everybody has. I don't get the fixins every day. I don't get yams every day. I hardly eat collard greens, but I don't get that every time. You know what I mean? Asparagus or whatever other mixtures that come into it. I don't get
like mashed potatoes. I mean, yeah, you get them with KFC, but it's different for Thanksgiving. Like there's more of a classiness to it, you know?
Yeah, because it's less dumped with gravy, you know?
Exactly.
In that sense. And it doesn't taste cheap and artificial because usually people make like real mashed potatoes. Whereas if you're just me at home, it's like, all right, what is the puffin goes into? But Matthew Judon's right. When it comes to the table, we don't need that because it allows time for different kind of decorations, you know, and it is just noodles with cheese. And I'll tell you now, this is super controversial. All mac and cheese tastes the same, almost, because if they use like the standard cheese, unless you go to the gourmet places that either do cheddar bits or they use bacon bits. Yeah, and like they're still good, but at the end of the day, the noodle's always going to taste the same. So I'm with this. I support it. I get it. Gun to the head, you know, you got to eliminate something. I'm going to look at you kind of weird if you bring mac and cheese to the table. I don't think I've ever had mac and cheese at a Thanksgiving, but at 32, I don't have traditions. But if I ever got into that wife, kids, white picket fence mentality, there ain't going to be no mac and cheese at it. Because if I could just make it every day, what's so special about it?
I have never, I don't think my family.
And there's people who do it.
Like, and maybe, I mean, we probably have them now just because the kids like it and stuff like that. But like, but it's not like, you know, that's a kid's thing, right? So, but like, I've never, heck, even growing up myself, I never associated mac and cheese with Thanksgiving. Never really had it on the table. I didn't think if it was, I didn't know people did that. Like, yeah, I've been to a steakhouse, they've had mac and cheese. I've been that sort of stuff, but I don't associate it. Like, it doesn't connect with me at all, and I don't understand how this happened under my nose. But then again, I haven't watched The Sandlot, so what the hell would I know? So
yeah, you're kind of backwards in your ways.
Yeah, I finally got a PS3, so yeah, you know, like that's me. And I found this list here, and we're gonna go through it here because this is our Thanksgiving show, so we got to go there. So it's a list of the most popular Thanksgiving side dish, according, you know, quotation marks, in every state. So we're gonna go down this list and see what we agree with and which state are full of heathens. So Utah's most.
Remember, I was almost gonna separate from my family because I forgot the mashed potatoes, and I'm making known now.
That was last year, wasn't it? That was last year.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I remember.
And then it's this year.
I was appalled.
And then my sister. So my sister's pregnant. My sister's pregnant and near due, and she's kind of been like hormonal. And listen, I know she head baddie in charge, but if there ain't no mashed potatoes because someone forgot it or pregnancy brain, as I've been told by her and clients in life, I'm just gonna up and leave. Like, no, we stand on our feet, man. But go down this list.
Yeah. All right. So Utah, their favorite side dish is rolls, which
those are good.
Yes.
Crescent rolls.
Yeah.
Yes.
So rolls, bread rolls that go on the side. Yeah, those are good, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My brother-in-law loves this specific one that, you know, you don't bake them fully. He always liked them just like that touch, a bit of a raw doughiness to it. You know, that's the way he does it. I like a little crunch to mine, but he likes it nice and like.
I like it right. I like it just between where you guys are.
Okay.
Just when it's the beginning of being cooked.
Yeah. So that before it gets brown, right? Where it's just like right there, you know.
Yeah.
Side note, Andrew, what's your thoughts on mac and cheese, real quick?
Uh, in
At Thanksgiving.
general or as Thanksgiving?
In Thanksgiving.
I've never had it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew Judon,
Okay.
you're correct about everything.
Yeah, but man,
But I love mac and cheese.
Yeah,
But
right.
I've never had it for Thanksgiving.
yeah, and I don't think Matthew Judon. I don't know. Maybe he actually does legitimately hate it, and it really does bad things to his stomach. So that's fine. That's his thing. But
What's different?
you
It's one thing if it actually causes a health issue with you. It's another if you just don't like the taste, which, all right, fair. But not all mac and cheese tastes like Kraft.
True.
Yeah.
Like,
And it just
That's
doesn't
true.
deserve to be at the Thanksgiving table.
Yeah, it doesn't seem classy enough for that, right? At least for Thanksgiving. And that's sort of like, this is a one-time occasion. I know some people go big on Christmas too, but it's Thanksgiving's the meal of the year. So yeah, it doesn't seem like it should be there. Anyways, let's move on here. All right, so rolls were actually deemed the favorite side dish in Idaho as well, Wyoming and New Mexico. They also ranked high in West Virginia.
Time out. Mashed potatoes are not the top side dish.
Oh, in Idaho? I guess not. Maybe they have so much of it they're just sick of it. So,
Yeah, maybe.
so there you go. Montana is green bean casserole.
I'm meh on green bean casserole.
Yeah. Colorado and
Sometimes
Nevada.
it tastes good.
Yeah, Colorado and Nevada got mashed potatoes there. All right, I'm
Definitely.
team mash.
It's a requirement.
Yeah. So here we go. All right, here's our mac and cheese states, everybody. Places to avoid, and we got some mashed potatoes here as well. So these those were the top two, tied for the side dish of the most states at 10 each. Both of them have 10. So many of the mac and cheese states were in the South.
Of course.
Makes sense.
Vermont was the only state that supported cranberry sauce.
I don't like cranberry sauce.
You don't eat it by itself either. It's a topping.
I don't like cranberry. My dad loves that thing. He loves the
I love
gooiness that comes
cranberry.
out of the can.
Cranberries,
that
but not
solid
like
Jello
not
mold.
like that.
Yeah. So cranberry sauce. I mean, I guess they just straight up drink it. Broccoli casserole up in Kentucky. That's
I've
interesting.
I've never had that.
Yeah, never had that. That is gonna be killer in the bathrooms later. Cranberry sauce for Vermont. Cream corn in South Dakota. I can get behind some cream corn.
I can get behind it.
Yeah, I can
But if
definitely.
it's
get
too
behind
runny, I'm not about it.
it. No, you need a perfect balance. No, because then it's just sloppy water. Ugh, that's gross.
It's soup. It's corn soup.
Dressing for Alabama. Where's Matthew Judon from? Actually, where is he from? Well, I don't know. Let's look into that first because we have to figure out where he's from because he talked about dressing. That was his favorite thing. So if he's
But what are
from,
we speaking about dressing, like salad dressing, or
let's see.
I
don't think it's
think
salad dressing.
dressing is another term for stuffing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So Matthew Judon.
we love stuffing.
Yeah, he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
That's where he is from. Okay. And where is he? He played out in Grand Valley State. That's where he was drafted from. Okay. So, all right. White gravy for Arkansas. That makes a lot of damn sense because that's what we make for specifically my brother-in-law every year. My sister.
So what's white gravy?
It's gravy that's white.
Yeah, it's got.
Is there a special kind of meat?
It's
or
got
anything
it's
else
got
used?
eggs in it. It's got some pork and stuff like that. It's pretty damn good. I like it myself, to be honest. I like it myself. So my
Like I
sister.
feel like I've had it. I just need to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Gosh, if I remind myself, listening back on this episode, I'll try to take a photo of it because my sister literally verbatim copied the recipe from his mother, and we make it every year. And I actually like it. It's actually pretty good. So yeah, that's Arkansas. Dressing is different than stuffing, which pulled 6 states. Oh, so there it is. There's a difference between dressing and stuffing. We got to figure out what's the difference then. Yeah. So what's we're gonna look this up while we're going down. This is very scientific, and I like this. This is a sports show, everybody.
This is the best kind of learn to go.
Okay, they didn't specify what 10 states were the mac and cheese states and which ones were the mashed potato states. Oh, that sucks. I want to see that.
I'm going Thanksgiving dressing. It looks like stuffing.
I guess maybe there's a I don't know.
I mean, classic traditional Thanksgiving stuffing: French bread, chicken broth, egg, celery, fresh sage leaves, and then there's other ones that have.
All right, let's see. What's the
sauce.
difference between stuffing and dressing? Stuffing is usually made out of cornbread and is drier than a dressing. Dressing usually has more of a pouring consistency and has added ingredients in it like onions and vegetables. Oof, I hate onions. I am staying away from it then.
I mean, this is basically like a bread casserole.
So there you go. And yeah, guys, I don't know. Is there anything you guys want to talk about more about Thanksgiving?
If I don't have mashed potatoes, I will just divorce my family fully. I'll go become family with Francisco's family.
Yeah, come on down. Have some white gravy. Yeah,
they're gonna give me white gravy. All right,
some white gravy.
Okay,
here.
I think we talked about last year.
White meat anytime.
What happened,
so that was good go-to. White meat or dark meat?
Yeah.
It's always dark meat.
Damn right.
Yeah. Okay. So out of the meats that I get, because you got the ham, you got the turkey. I mean, I used to be so much more excited about the turkey, but I'm actually more into the ham lately now.
So much better.
Like the turkey, I will eat the leg. That's what I get. That's what I always get. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it's like the tryptophan or anything like that, but I just can't do it as much anymore. I can do the ham though. I can definitely do the ham. So there you go with that. And let me take a look at this. Oh man, the Lightning are spanking the Flyers right now. So there you go with that. It's 4-0. 4-0 in the third. So that's good for the Panthers. The Panthers play them tomorrow on the back-to-back, so that's going to be fun. And let's see, how's our beloved Miami Heat doing, Charles? They won? Okay, because they were down for a bit against the Pistons, and then they came back. Okay, good thing. Oh, yeah, I told the GF about my love for Jimmy Butler, and she does not understand fully just yet, but she will soon. I love that man. Anyways, that's enough for my fantasies. All right, guys. So that's it for us. I've closed out whatever video game was in the background because it caused us to crash. I got to figure that out. But anyways, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll see you guys next week for the last one of this year, and then we'll come back next year. As we always do, we do this every year. We take a little break. We have some fun. We got Hanukkah. We got Christmas. We come back after New Year's. So have fun. Stuff yourselves. And stay away from the mac and cheese. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Follow us on the Twitter, FJOJR, Charles is True, Deb Frijoles, because we are going to take some vacations, but they might be tweeting.